everybody. Here's wishing all of you a very happy new year. On the show today, we continue with the journey we started last week, which is look back at the people for who 2010 was important. Even if for some like Yuvraj Singh, it was a year he would rather forget. I have found on this show that when people are a bit down on their luck, they can be at their most introspective.
See, as a young kid, when you think you wear the India cap, your collars go up and, your shades come down. And you think, you're the biggest superstar of this country, so that's a pretty young emotion for everyone. But, and then you say that, when I play for India or, when I become a star, I'll do whatever I want. But things don't happen that way. The more people recognize you, more responsibility go on your head. And you have to be a role model for people out there.
When you started playing cricket and when you first wore the India cap, you brought to us a certain confidence of young India, of the India that we are all very proud of today, and we hope that the world sees us as, confident, with a great sense of charisma, dashing. Do you feel that that maybe got in the way of people giving you advice easily when you were growing up in the early years?
See, nobody likes you to climbing up the ladder. It's, everybody wants to put you down because it's just part of life. But, I have, where I've grown up in Punjab, I have not been in people who have given me a lot of confidence, except my father. And I always felt that, I have a certain way of playing. I'm never going to change it. By not changing it, I have been successful a certain period of time, which is 10 years. And people come and tell me the focus is not there, discipline is not there, and every time there's an injury or performance is not there, it's related to my lifestyle outside the ground, which I always feel is unfair, because after a game you have your life and you should be
allowed to live it.
And always, I'm a very honest person, no matter what anyone says, and I am who I am. I don't try and pretend to be someone else, and that's the way it is.
When you said you wanted to quit, does that mean that you didn't want to compete anymore?
Yes, I didn't want to compete anymore. I didn't want to, I could have done it as a hobby once in a while, but I didn't want to compete. I didn't want to shoot anymore. I didn't want to do it competitively.
Why is that?
Probably because it was a long journey. I think going into Beijing, that was my 15th year in competition, and I really put in a lot of work and a lot of sweat into that whole journey. And I guess I was a little bit tired and wanted to explore other things. I mean, shooting is one thing, but life has other things in store as well. But really nothing as exciting as being on the range and trying to hit the middle point on a black circle. So it just drew me back, and I'm really back now, and I'm really motivated again to do well and to come up.
And then you looked around for a year and you found nothing as exciting as shooting. Is that what you're saying? That's a poor, sorry comment on the world, isn't it?
Well, no, I didn't find anything as exciting, or I even tried things. I worked consciously to get me motivated again. I worked with psychologists to put me back on track and get the inner drive going again. I tried a lot of things, but really, what really got me going again was failure. And I failed a couple of times and shoot well in a couple of matches, and that was it.
Even one of the country's most controversial politicians, known to be a master manipulator, paused for thought, disarmed perhaps to be part of the galaxy of beautiful people. Politician and Rajya Sabha MP Amar Singh was expelled from the Samajwadi Party after 14 years in February 2010.
You're 56 years old?
I'm 54.
You're 54 years old. You're a clever man by any standards.
Yeah.
It took you 14 years to realize that the commitment and passion you have put in to something is not worth it. I find that very difficult to relate to.
No, it's not difficult. If you'll be in my shoe, I don't want you ever to be in my shoe. If you are about to kiss death, you are told that you are finished, and your system is not working. Whatever you are eating, you are vomiting. You are always on the time under thoughts of pain. People are coming for formality, and you are unsure of your being active ever again, and then you are left alone. Then you start pondering, then you start thinking, then flashback in your life begins, that what all you have done. And in a way, I will hold my elder brother Amitabh Bachchan responsible for many decisions I took. Like he instigated me to start writing blog. So, during that time I discovered that whatever I have done is worthless.
If Amar Singh is in the political wilderness, Delhi Chief Minister Sheila Dikshit has, despite the dismays and delays in the run-up to the Commonwealth Games, emerged stronger.
Do you feel that the buck stops with you? Do you feel you will become the, the person who becomes symbolic of the person who was responsible for the games?
No, I would say yes, because I happen to be the Chief Minister. So if something goes wrong with the NDMC or the MCD, which is not under me, or DDA, people's perception is
that's my question.
That's it. You're right, absolutely right, that perception is there. Therefore, I am not standing on formalities. I'm going out every day, I'm seeing to things happening, and even pointing out, wherever I feel that there are some hitches, or we need to correct them. We're doing all that. I am the one who's really on the street, so to say, going around everywhere. But I think at the end of it all, we will give you games which India would be proud of, Delhi would be proud of, and Delhi itself will look a very, very different city.
When you were elected as Speaker of the Lok Sabha, it was unanimous. There were some 18 nominations that came in from across different parties, and yet by the time you ended your term, not only 2006, 2007, the BJP was questioning your fairness. Your party by the end of it had said that you had become close to the Congress. Somnath Chatterjee and the reputation and integrity that went with him got clouded, not besmirched, but just questioned. And was that something that you feel was the price you had to pay for that role?
I think in a way. You see, that's why my agony I have said, for sorting out political issues between the government and the opposition. It was felt by some group or some members or some parties that, the speaker who is trying to sort of run the house as well as possible, they misunderstood me, I can only say. Like the case of Jharkhand Supreme Court. I said in my statement, this is an issue, serious issue, where court was entering into the arena of the legislature, and that what I am raising this is against that intrusion by the judiciary into legislatures.
But it was seen, sir, as being as favouring the Congress-led government, isn't it?
That was the wrong, deliberately wrong interpretation which is given. I am sorry to use that word deliberate, because I mentioned in my statement this has no topical relevance. I made it very, very clear it had no relevance to the question, to any topical issue. It's only relating to the relationship between the judiciary.
The larger principle.
Yes. And I've been this stand has been vindicated. Supreme Court didn't take up the matter further. And that's that. And I'm very happy and proud that I showed that courage.
Coming up after the break, people from the world of entertainment whose careers were taking interesting new turns thanks to some bold and some lucky choices.